Welcome back to the Sports Blitz, and it's time for the Gannon Women's Basketball Coaches Show. Jack Quinn with you, along with Gannon Women's Basketball Coach Jim Brunelli. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing very well, Jack. Thanks for having me.
I'm excited to have you here. And have you gotten all your shopping done yet, or do you go like are you one of those that go like the 24th and just do it all in one swoop?
You know, I have a little bit more to do. I have a little bit more to do. I try to space it out a little bit, but with the profession I'm in, it gets to be last minute type things.
Yeah. That's usually the way it goes. It's always I used to work in the mall. The 24th, it's all men. It's always men up there.
Yeah, it's very true. Very true.
Around as quickly as possible. All right, so let's get to the matter at hand. Now, you guys were off. First of all, you talked about the breaks. You had 11 days off. You didn't have a game last week.
Right.
Then you have a couple games coming up, including Edinburgh, which we'll certainly get to.
Yeah.
That game is coming up on Wednesday. Then you have the other long holiday break where you're off from the 19th to the 3rd. Is it unusual to have two of these extended layoffs for you?
Well, this year is interesting because with the change into the PSAC schedule, my first 2 years, we've always played 2 games during this week.
Right.
Because of they had the East-West crossover games. But since we had those last weekend and they adjusted the schedule, we couldn't get a game. We had some possible takers, doing an exhibition game with a D1 school, but that fell through. And so we just had to eat it and just practice. Gave the kids, a couple days off. That normally they get one. This past week they got 2 because we gave them off Sunday because we came back from Bloom, and then we gave them off a Wednesday just because some of the kids have some finals last week, just like their last regular class, but the majority of the finals are done this week, and so most of them will be all done by Wednesday. So that'll be good.
That's good, and you try to give them. Are there rules about how much do you have to scale back practice during finals week at all?
You really don't. Our practice schedule is all over the place during finals week. That's the only thing. Usually every day during the week, it's at 6:30 in the morning.
Oh.
But tonight we go 8 to 10:30 at night, and then tomorrow we're 3 to 5, and then we play Wednesday, and we're just all over because we got to move things around. So it'll be interesting seeing the team at a different time, just because we normally see them in the mornings, and most of them are fresh, ready to go. We'll see how a day of finals, they're probably going to come in with their hair all frazzled and look a little worn today. So
couldn't be any more frazzled than 6:30 in the morning, though. My goodness.
You get used to that. You do get used to that. The kids get used to it, and then they have the whole rest of their day. But no, you're right. Some of the kids, they always look the same coming in, like it's their first time coming to morning practice, which I think is funny.
Big mug of coffee.
Yeah.
So,
well, I have one of those.
Yeah, there you go. So we'll get to the games coming up. I did want to ask you about recruiting, though, because you didn't have a game last week, so maybe it was a good time to talk about recruiting and where you're at right now with this year's recruiting class. I know you said you were visiting one of your players over the weekend. So where were you at over the weekend, and how are things shaping up?
Yeah, over the weekend, went down to see one of the kids that we signed in the early signing period, Marissa Sibka out of Slippery Rock High School. So got to see her play Saturday. And we signed three young ladies early in the early signing period, and really excited about those ladies. Our first signee her name's Kiana Gannon. She's out of Wisconsin, and her team is doing really well. They're currently 6-0, and really excited about her. She's a scoring point guard, sees the floor extremely well, can hit shots. She's a lefty, and really she's not a lefty. She's just a really good player. She sees the floor, makes the correct passes, and she can knock down shots. She can put up some points. So I'm excited about her. The young lady who is a lefty, we have her sister here now, Lauren Tavis. Her sister, Haley, signed with us as well. And she's a big guard. She can probably play the 1, 2, 3, maybe even put her as a stretch 4. She's a lefty like her sister. And we're really excited about getting those two on the court together because I've seen them play in AAU, I've seen them play in high school, and they had a really good chemistry. So we'll see how everybody fits in there. But really excited about Haley coming into town as well. She's full of energy, and she can do a lot of things. She's probably about 5'11", almost 6 foot, and she's a big guard.
Right.
And then our last one, who I mentioned, Marissa Sibka, she's out of Slippery Rock. She had she only played half the year last year because she tore her ACL, but she is coming back, and she's come back from that. Rehab went very well, and she's starting to get her coach is starting to get her back into the flow of the games and everything, just kind of taking it easy with her. But they had a big win over Girard over the weekend, and at their place, and she did really well. Yeah, it was a very low scoring game, but both teams did it was a defensive battle, and but Slippery Rock came away with the win, and we're really excited about Marissa. Marissa is a young lady who verbal to us over a year ago, and comes from a really good family, basketball family, and she's just an extremely hard worker. Just gives you everything you have, and we need more of those kids. We have a good group of them now, and we're just trying to make our team bigger and better.
Is there any added significance that you take them right from Slippery Rock, right out of the backyard of an opponent, sort of like when Ohio State did someone from Ann Arbor or something like that?
Yeah, that had really nothing to do with it. We go after the best players that we can, and that's our motto. Obviously, we would love to keep local players local if they have an interest. Lately a lot of them have had interest to go bigger to Division I schools, and that's great. And I say, hey, follow your dream, go after your dream. If that's it, to play Division I. Unfortunately, we're not Division I. But my philosophy has always been try to get the kids in state, and then after that, you go after the big and best wherever you can find them.
So coming up on Wednesday, 5:30, you guys are at Edinboro. It's a huge rivalry game. You've struggled with them recently slightly. Is that more of a matchup thing, you think? Do you think you guys are getting closer, and are the matchups more to your favor this year, you think?
Yeah, they're a very, very well-coached team. They have some really good players on there, and I think it's a little bit of everything. I can't say that it's one thing or another. I think all our games have been very competitive, and we're just excited to have the opportunity to play. Coming off an 11-day break, we'll see how it goes. But I know our ladies are going to give everything they have, and we're excited to get back on the court on Wednesday night.
These games can carry. I mean, one or two in the PSAC West certainly can be the difference between home court or sort of seeding for the tournament. So how important then? I mean, early in the season is it? Do you place any added significance on it because it's Edinboro and a rivalry, or is it just the same as Bloom or Pitt Johnstown?
The only thing I can say is every game on our schedule is important.
Yeah.
Every game is important. I think fans, the diehards make the game more important, but there really isn't a game on our schedule that's more important than the other. Our next game is Edinboro. That's the most important game we're looking at right now. We try not to look ahead. We try not to dwell in the past. Every game is important, and I think the problem is when you start looking at placing more significance on one game or another, that's when you can have some issues and find yourself getting into a bad situation. I just think that as long as we stay focused on one day at a time, one game at a time, and the next big game is Edinboro. Just like after that, our next big game will be whoever we play next.
Pitt Johnstown.
There you go.
You don't even know. That's awesome. I like that. Just focused. So talking about that Edinboro game, though, what specifically do you think you're going to have to do to come out on top in that game?
We're going to have to play very good defense. They are a very highly talented team. They have, very similar to us in a sense. They have 4 players that are averaging double figures. They're coming off a big overtime win up at Damon. And, when you have someone like Anjane Freeland and you got Hippo and Katie Fisher, the transfer from Mercyhurst is playing extremely well over there. And you got that freshman, the young kid coming off the bench. She came off the bench last game. She's been starter. I think she's been PSAC Rookie of the Week. If we've done it 5 times, she's been 3 of them. So she's a really good player. We're going to have to be on our toes both offensively and defensively because, like I said, when you have somebody like Coach Swank over there who has over 500 wins under his belt, that's a big deal. They're going to be ready for us. We're going to be ready for them. And, we're just excited to put on the uniform.
Is there anything you can do in practice leading up to that game today, tomorrow, to try to wear off any potential rust from the layoff, or is it just go as normal?
It's go as normal as much as you can. I mean, finals week is different than any other week because kids are preparing. You know, some of these classes are that our kids have in our majors that they're in. They're pretty intense. I was talking to some of my kids today. She had a cumulative final. You know what I mean? And so you just try to get them in the right frame of mind. You know, we talked to them last week at our last practice just about, hey, when we come in, it's got to be all about basketball.
Right.
We're not going to sit and stretch and talk about the finals that we just did or the finals we have coming up. It's going to be about basketball. It's about how we're going to attack this practice. It's going to be about, our scouting report on Edinboro. I don't want to hear anything about academics. For the 2 hours, for the 2.5 hours we get them today, their focus has got to be not on school.
Right.
Just like when they're in their class, I don't want them thinking about basketball. Focus on whatever class you're in, but when you're around those maroon lines that in the Hammer Mill Center, when you're in that court, it's got to be all about focus.
Cumulative final, that's why I'm glad I was a comm major. There were very few cumulative finals.
Tell me about it.
Communications-based.
I'm just glad it was the one, the couple young ladies that are really good students. So that's, and we have our whole team is very good students. So, but there's some of those kids that you want it to be a little bit easier for them and to adjust. But our freshmen coming in, they have a good course load, and so it'll be interesting to see how they adjust, because I think our upperclassmen, they've been through this rodeo. They know about finals. They can deal with it. It's the freshmen who this is a first time experience in the finals at the college level plus practice and everything. And but I think they'll be fine.
And you feel like then some of your more veteran players have done a nice job to take some of the younger girls under their wings here.
Oh, absolutely, they have, and it's been an important part of the process this year, and of getting some of those young ladies, especially the young ones, under the wing. You so-called say, and talk to them about how things go, and it happens on every team, and the young ladies we have on this team are tremendous. They're very good people. They're very good students. They're very good athletes, and they've been doing a tremendous job with our rookies. So. It's just about just attacking it today. Hopefully they'll get some rest. Hopefully, this will be a nice little break from what they've been doing all day, and they come in focused and ready.
You have, for the most part, a six-player rotation. I'm not going to say six-man rotation.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't confused when I'm doing women's games. It's still man-to-man defense, though they need to come up with a better phrase. Are you happy with where you're at as far as the rotation at this point in the season? Did you think you'd have more depth, less? Did you think you'd have to rely on your starting five, or are you happy with where you're at in that regard?
No, I'm very happy with where we're at. I think we have a nice rotation. I think it's only going to get better as we go, just because just getting those new kids and introduced to what college basketball is about. So, but I really like where we're at right now. We're always looking to be better. We challenge the kids every day that you want to come in and be better than you were the last time you stepped on the court.
Right.
And so that just gets them to push them to be more competitive, and that's fine by me. I don't think there's any coach in the country who wouldn't want more competitive kids on their team.
Absolutely. Well, Gannon on the heels of a 3-game winning streak. They travel an exciting game at Edinboro, 5:30 tip-off with the women, followed by the men at Macomb Fieldhouse this coming Wednesday. Still fourth in the region, right? Yeah, okay. I didn't want to ask because I know you just sort of, you're focused on the game. So there you go. Gannon, appreciate you, Coach. Appreciate you taking the time. And if I don't see you, have a great holiday.
Thank you.
All right. And thanks for the poster as well. It's very, makes it easy to remember.